G'day, we're here to have a look at the MSI Prestige 16 AI Evo. It's a 60-inch premium business laptop. It's for the professionals who are after a more powerful than the average standard laptop for their professional workload. Now when I say premium, it has a magnesium aluminium alloy, so it gives that nice robust and nice premium feel to the laptop, and it follows a minimalistic design. Now when it comes down to performance, this houses the new Intel Core Series 2 Arrow Lake H series, and I've been testing quite a lot of the Lunar Lake, which is the V series for the Series 2, and that's been blown away for me by performance and also the battery life and how it works. Well, this Arrow Lake H series, again, the performance scores later in the video you'll see, is another step ahead in performance. It really is the best that Intel can offer as a recording of this video. So definitely tune in for the actual performance, but definitely it is a wowzers here. Now, we'll also look at the temperatures and fan noise and also look at other features of this laptop. So let's get on with the ride. There are two options you can choose for the 16-inch display on the Prestige 16 AI Evo. The first being the UHD option, which is an OLED display, and the second is the Quad HD Plus, which is an IPS display. Now, the one I tested out was the Quad HD Plus IPS version, and when I tested out the actual brightness, it managed to reach at a peak of 440 nits or candela per square meter. It does have a glossy finish to the display, which enhances the clarity and also giving that nice pop on the colors for the vibrancy. But the side effect is you will experience reflections on the display. But with that 440 nits of brightness on the IPS version, I really didn't experience that much disturbance from the reflections while working outdoors, consuming multimedia, or doing your office productivity work. Measuring the color gamut coverage of the 16-inch Quad HD Plus non-touch IPS display, it resulted with 99.3% sRGB coverage, 76.4% Adobe RGB coverage, and 91.2% DCI-P3 coverage. The Adobe RGB coverage is moderate. I wouldn't say it's outstanding. This is for the photos, but the DCI-P3 coverage is very good, which actually means it supports a very wide color gamut, which is used in color and video production. So overall, I would say that this is still a very capable display, which can be used for a lot of content creators. But I wouldn't say this would be ideal for professional photo or video editing work. The weight of the Prestige 16 AI Evo is 1.56 kilos plus the 100-watt USB-C power adapter becomes a combined weight of 1.96 kilos you might be carrying around with you. The Prestige 16 AI Evo comes with a large 4-cell 99.9 watt-hour battery, which is the highest legal airline capacity battery you can bring. And when I tested out the battery life, I managed to get 18 hours and 12 minutes for the modern office battery life test in PC Mark 10, 2 hours and 30 minutes for gaming, and 14 hours and 46 minutes for video playback on the Procom battery life test. I consider this all-day battery life, and this is absolutely fantastic, even with the 16-inch large display and also this really powerful processor on the H series of the Arrow Lake. Looking at temperatures and fan noise, when I took my measurement, the ambient temperature room was 18 degrees Celsius. So just to give you an idea of how hot or how cool this laptop could be, my hand was measuring anywhere between 33 to 34 degrees Celsius at this room temperature. So I took my base measurement, the computer was idle, and the hottest air around the keyboard measured a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius. And of course, it pretty much stayed dead silent and measured in at 35 decibels, and the average internal core temperature was 40 degrees Celsius. Then I put 20% load on the computer to pretty much average use. That's tasks like office productivity work, surfing the web, streaming video, and the hottest air around the keyboard measured a maximum of 39 degrees Celsius. And the fan did spin up a little bit, but it was barely audible, but measured in at maximum of 36 decibels, and the average internal core temperature was 52 degrees Celsius. Then I put 50% load on all the system resources, and the hottest air around the keyboard measured a maximum of 43 degrees Celsius. And as for the fan, it did spin up more. It was audible and reached a maximum of 40 decibels. And as for the internal core temperature, it averaged at 59 degrees Celsius. Then I put 100% load on all the system resources, and the hottest air around the keyboard measured a maximum of 48 degrees Celsius. And as for the fan, it spun all up to a maximum of 41 decibels, and the average internal core temperature was 70 degrees Celsius. While I maintain 100% load on all the system resources, in the MSI Center, I put the computer in performance setting to allow the computer to run at its maximum potential, and the hottest air around the computer measured a maximum of 47 degrees Celsius. And as for the fan, it spun all the way to a maximum of 45 decibels, and the average internal core temperature was 77 degrees Celsius. And I also measured the bottom back cover while I had this 100% utilization on all the system resources, and the bottom back cover measured in a maximum of 38 degrees Celsius. Interesting enough, the hottest area is actually located near the center of the spacebar and also the B key. Now, this is not really an area where you put your hand for very long periods of time. Usually you tap the spacebar with your thumb, and that's about it. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It is different, that's for sure. Here's the results of the benchmarks performed on the Prestige 16 AI Evo. Here's the results for Pass Mark, Citybench 2024, PC Mark, 3D Mark, Cross Mark, Crystal Disk Mark, Geekbench 6, Procon Office, Procon MPU, Procon Windows ML, Procon Image AI, Procon Video Edit, Puget Photoshop, Puget Premiere Pro, Puget DaVinci Resolve, Blender, Luxmark, Furmark, Eugene Engine, SpecView Pref 2020, and some gaming benchmarks like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6, Cyberpunk 2077, Forza 5, F1 2024, and Black Myth Wukong. The Arrow Lake H series outperforms the Lunar Lake V series, particularly in multi-core performance. While the single-core speed advantage of the Arrow Lake H is modest, around about 5 to 8% faster, the real strength lays in its multi-core capabilities. This is largely due to Arrow Lake H having roughly double the number of cores compared to the Lunar Lake V, allowing it to excel in workloads that scale across many cores. This design difference reflects in the benchmark scores, where Arrow Lake H multi-core performance significantly outmatches the Lunar Lake V's, showing the impact of core count and architecture optimization. Meanwhile, for single-threaded tasks, the performance uplift is more subtle but still noticeable. There are two bottom firing speakers in the Prestige 16, and when I tested out the maximum volume of the speakers, it managed to measure a peak of 85.9 decibels. Now consider this in the medium range compared to other laptops, and you shouldn't have any issues in a video conference if you're in an outdoor environment or at a cafe. As for the sound profiling and sound quality of the speakers, we do have some bass for a two-speaker system. It's got very strong highs and it's actually quite weak in the mids. It is balanced towards the highs, so it is probably geared more towards your video conferencing, so more better for vocals, but it's got very average acoustics and reverb. Now, I would probably say the speakers isn't its strong suit in the Prestige 16 AI Evo. This is an area MSI could improve on. This is a recording from the 1080p webcam from the Prestige 16 AI Evo. This is the video and audio unedited, so you can hear see what the quality of webcam is like. And as always with this, webcam test, I've got two top slits currently turned on. I've got my downlights in the room turned on for ambience, and also the one studio light turned on. Now I'm going to turn off my one studio light off. You see this adjust. Now it's adjusting slowly there. Now the two downlights in front of me is a bit far away, so there's not much light hitting on my face. This is what I consider a dark environment. Now it's really interesting how it actually adjusts for this white balance. Before it was quite warm, and now it's actually cooled down and it's a little gone to more of a magenta side than anything else. And I'm going to turn my one studio light back on. Of course, better quality light should give you better quality picture. Now I'll just see how this adjusts as it gets more things. Now while I'm at it, there is built-in a shutter, and it's just a flick of the lever and you will actually see a physical shutter that is actually indicated by red shutter. You actually physically cover the webcam, so you don't need the electrical tape or blue tack anymore. So that's nice that MSI has thought about the privacy as well. Now again, you'll see this now has finally adjusted to more of a warmer side, and I definitely love to hear what your thoughts of this webcam, even with the white balance adjustment. Definitely love to hear, put a comment below. So let's have a look at the hinge. So I'm just going to do the one finger test. So let's do this, and I'll just go one finger, and it is actually very universal in the actual amount of pressure I have to push in, and it goes 180 degrees. So that's absolutely love it that it does that, and it doesn't actually lift the bottom of here for the actual, and the top cover goes all the way down. It is absolutely fantastic. I like that there. Again, it is actually a very nice smooth hinge here. So that's been well done there from MSI. And now we'll do the wiggle test to see, does this clamp here? And I can see from here it's clamping well for this, so that's good. And I'll try the other side to make sure it's clamping, and that's clamping well. So MSI have done actually a well job on this hinge for this Prestige 16 AI Evo. Well done there. Overall, the MSI Prestige 16 AI, it's a powerful laptop. For what it can do, for especially being an ultrabook, it's got a nice and light, it's just quite very portable, and a nice large 16 display, which is just gorgeous as well. And we've got a nice round of ports. I just wish that some of the ports were actually on the side, so I don't have to always reach around the back, but it has a nice selection of ports. And the speakers, it can be worked on. It is probably where its weakest point is, but overall the whole laptop has just been a joy to use. Been doing a lot of video editing, been playing games for about a month on this Prestige 16 AI Evo, and definitely the actual scores and actually the actual performance and how it runs and the temperatures are well controlled. Fan noise isn't really a bother for me. I had some gaming laptops which are way more louder than this, and this is what this processor is the best that Intel can offer at the moment as we're recording this video. So I'm blown by actually the actual performance of it. It really is a step ahead of the Lunar Lake, which again, that's blown me by what it does, and that is more for the portable ones. This is still very, very portable. It's just so lightweight for what it is. You can just see, and it's thin. It's just nice to carry around if you want a 16-inch laptop that's way better than your average standard for the performance. So definitely can easily recommend the MSI Prestige 16 AI Evo if you're after the performance there. So definitely well done there, MSI. Now I hope you find this video informative, enjoy. If you did even support my channel, smash that like button for me, share this video, it does help me out. And as always, imperfections in life makes you beautiful and interesting. And I'll see you next video.